Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Adam. I'm an expert mortgage broker, and it's been a little while actually since I've done a YouTube video, so I'm going to try and get back on it this year. Last year's been all over the place with all sorts of things going on, but you don't want to hear about that. You want to know about how to repay your Help to Buy loan and why now is probably absolutely the perfect time. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the process of repaying Help to Buy, why you want to do it, and if you stay watching until the end, I've got my secret strategy for you to make sure that you save as much money as possible during the whole process. So stay tuned for that. Let's talk about Help to Buy then for a moment, and what it is and what it means. So Help to Buy was a government loan basically that you took when you bought a new build property any time in the last few years. What you might not know though, and what they probably didn't tell you, or you may have only just found out, is that you borrowed 20% of the property's value, and so you need to pay back 20% of the property's value. It doesn't matter how much money you borrowed, it's all about paying back 20% of the property's value. And so, in the last year or so, that's why it's not been so important to get the Help to Buy loan paid off, because property prices haven't really been going up, have they? So they've been fairly stagnant, even gone down a little bit in some places. Depends where you are in the country and who you talk to. Overall, in the last couple of years, house prices have been fairly stagnant. So that's made it less appealing for people to be rushing into repaying their Help to Buy. Now, couple that with the fact that interest rates have been high over the last year or so, that's made it much less appealing as well. But we're kind of coming to the end of both of those things now. So interest rates have dropped significantly in the last few months, and they're continuing to fall. And predictions are that they'll probably continue to fall, just slightly now, just slowly, but for the rest of the year. So if interest rates are going down, it makes it cheaper to borrow that money that you need to repay the Help to Buy. And if property prices are going to start to go back up again this year, then that means that the amount you're going to have to pay back to Help to Buy is also going to start going up. So now is a perfect window to get in there and repay your Help to Buy loan. So let's talk about the process then, what's involved, how we actually do it. Now, for me, all mortgage applications, whatever we're doing, whether you're buying or remortgage or whatever, everything starts with affordability. How much can we afford to borrow? So we're going to check that you can borrow enough money to repay your Help to Buy. There's a couple of stages of this, because we need to know how much the property's worth as well, so that we know how much we need to borrow. So we're going to start by kind of having a bit of a guesstimate of your house value. Now, you may know what your house is worth roughly, because other people around you may have sold recently. We can have a look on Rightmove and Zoopla and those places to kind of gauge a rough sort of estimate of how much your property is worth. So what we need to do is take 20% of that, or 40% if you're in London, but we take 20% of that in most cases, and that's how much we need to repay. Then we take the balance of your mortgage, so how much you owe now, or how much you'll owe when your fixed rate ends, and we add those two together. That's our total loan that we need. Now, you may have some cash as well to put in. You may have been able to save up some money as well, less and less likely with everything else going on, but we may have some cash in there to put in as well. So that will reduce the amount we need to borrow. So the more you can save, the better. If your Help to Buy, if your fixed rate isn't due for another couple of years and you're watching this, the more you can save, the better. Definitely, trust me on that one. So we've got those figures. That's how much we need. Then we're going to look at how much you can afford to borrow. So we're going to look at your income, your outgoings, and your situation. If you've got children, debts, credit cards, loans, cars, that sort of stuff. All that goes into how much you can borrow. Now, there's videos on the channel about affordability and all that sort of stuff, so go and check those out if you want to. But for now, let's just say we need to take account of all your situation, all your ins and outs and everything, to work out how much we can borrow. So once we know that, we know you can borrow enough, and we know roughly what we need to repay and that it works, let's just check that that all works first. Then it's time to actually start the ball rolling and start the process. The first thing we need to do is get a valuation on your property. Now that needs to be a proper valuation, not an estate agent. You know, estate agent isn't a proper valuation, that's a market value. We need a surveyor, we need a RICS surveyor, Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. So they need to come and value your property. We can help you find someone to do that. We just Google search wherever you are and RICS surveyor and they'll come up. So we get someone to come out and give you evaluation. Now, I'm going to talk more about valuations towards the end of the video, so it's a really important thing that you need to know about that, so we'll talk about that shortly. So we're going to get our valuation, that's our next stage. Now once we've got that figure, then we know exactly how much we need to repay to Help to Buy. So that's going to help join it all together for us. So we know exactly how much we need to give Help to Buy, we know how much mortgage we've got, we add those together, and that's the total amount that we're going to apply for now that we're going to do our mortgage application. So mortgage application goes in to the lender that's going to give us the best deal, the most cost effective, going to fit your criteria and everything. So mortgage application goes in for the amount that we need to cover everything. Then after a little while, some toing and froing and some questions being asked and some paperwork being delivered and things to the lender, we're going to get ourselves a mortgage offer. And that mortgage offer is going to say, yeah, we'll give you the amount of money you need. So that's good, that's the mortgage sorted. Now in the meantime, once we've got that valuation back from the surveyor, there's a form to fill in from Help to Buy. We just Google Repay Help to Buy form, and it comes up on the Gov website. So we fill that in, we put in there the details of what you're doing, that you're repaying your loan in full. We send that into Help to Buy with your valuation, and then they will write you a letter back. It doesn't take too long, really. This process doesn't take that long, which is a surprise because it's Help to Buy. Everything else does, but this bit doesn't take too long. They'll give you a letter back to say, yeah, okay, this is how much you need to give us. So it's all official. Now there'll be a solicitor involved. It normally is part of the remortgage process anyway. So there's going to be a solicitor involved to take care of all the money and everything. So Help to Buy will write to them as well with the same information, and then they'll get the mortgage offer from the new lender. And then when it comes round to completion, so normally when your current fixed rate ends, they will request the money from the new lender, they'll get the money, they'll pay off the old lender, they'll pay off Help to Buy, and then you're left with a new mortgage that is completely, repayment, well normally, depending on your circumstances, but let's assume for now, repayment over however many years, the house is yours. We haven't got to worry about anyone else owning it or any other shares or the value of Help to Buy going up, not down. It's all on a nice steady repayment mortgage, and then that is what we want. Now, I said at the beginning I was going to give you a secret strategy. It's not necessarily secret because it's public knowledge. However, not many people do know about this, and it's to do with evaluations. So a lot of people are surprised when I tell them this, but the valuation for Help to Buy and the valuation for the mortgage lender are not the same thing. The two will never meet. They don't need to be exactly the same thing. Now, don't get me wrong, this doesn't always matter. It depends on your loan to value, so how much equity you've still got in your property once we increase the mortgage. Sometimes it doesn't really make any difference at all, and that's great. But sometimes this little tweak can really help save you some money. So let's say your Help to Buy valuation comes in, we talk to the surveyor nicely and we say, it's Help to Buy valuation, we need it to be as low as possible really. Now, no surveyor is going to lie, no one's lying here, but there are ways of making your valuation lower or higher with which comparables, which evidence they use. So surveyors will always look at other similar properties that have sold nearby. And so what they can do is just make sure they look on the kind of lower end of the spectrum, which is perfectly fine to do. So we're going to get hopefully a nice low valuation for Help to Buy, and then we're going to try and get a slightly higher valuation from the mortgage lender. Now, we're never going to save hundreds of thousands of pounds. I mean, if your Help to Buy valuation comes in at, let's say, 340, your mortgage valuation might be 350. It's that kind of difference. So we're not talking hundreds of thousands, but that could mean the difference between 85% loan to value or just over, and that will be a difference in interest rate for you on your new mortgage, or 75% or just over. Whatever your equity is, that can make quite a difference because rates change every 5% or so of equity that you've got in your property. And so the more equity you've got, the better the rate is going to be. Now, we do these applications all the time. Every couple of days someone comes to us to help them repay their Help to Buy loan, so we do loads of these cases every week. So we're experts in helping you repay your Help to Buy. So if you want to look at your options, or if you've got a Help to Buy and you want to start thinking about repaying it, then just get in touch. It's pretty easy. There's a link in the description to book an appointment straight in our diaries. There's a link in the description as well to go over to our website. There's a blog, and there's actually a podcast on the website about this very subject as well, so I'll link that in the description. Then you can book an appointment from the website if you want to as well. So you can get in touch with us however you like, but make sure you do it soon, because this window of the perfect time to repay your Help to Buy won't last forever. As house prices start to go back up again, it'll get less and less ideal. So get in there as soon as you can. I'll see you soon.